Good evening. We're back with more Marvel Champions, and this evening will be a hero spotlight for Cyclops, the first hero pack released out of the X-Men cycle. We'll take a look at this Cyclops deck, and then we'll jump into some games, starting with Mysterio on Expert difficulty. Cyclops is another hero that surprised me during these hero spotlights because my initial impressions of him were not very good. But having access to the entire X-Men cycle, I do think Cyclops gets a lot better. Mostly just by virtue of having access to all the best X-Men allies. So this deck runs 15 allies in order to take maximum advantage of Uncanny X-Men. And we're running 3 of that to get it out as quickly as possible, because it's basically Cyclops' only resource generation. Though he can, with his alter ego, go find an additional card. But Uncanny X-Men is what this deck is built around. And so we're including Uncanny X-Men, To Me My X-Men, and then all the best X-Men allies. Cyclops is not an exceptional hero, but he is much better than I thought he would be. He passed my initial tests for a hero spotlight. So we're going to see how he does against Mysterio on Expert difficulty with this 15 ally X-Men deck. So here we go. We'll see what happens here against Mysterio. An encounter deck. When you would draw or discard an encounter card, deal it to yourself as a face-down card. Shuffle the top card of the encounter deck into the player's deck, so I have 41 cards instead of 40. When defeated, if this minion was defeated with excess damage, shuffle the top card of the encounter deck into your deck. There's Uncanny X-Men in the opening hand. This hand looks just fine. We'll use Cyclops' alter ego ability to search your deck for a tactic upgrade. Of course, Cyclops can include X-Men allies from any aspect in your deck, which is why my deck was not just one aspect. Grab Exploit Weakness, likely just use it as a resource. So, what do I want to do here? We'll go 1, 2, 3 for Uncanny X-Men. One, 2, 3 for Uncanny X-Men. 1 for Pixie, and after you play Pixie from your hand, add an X-Men ally from your discard to your hand. And then 1 for Angel. He is -1 because I have the mutant trait, and -1 for Uncanny X-Men. Each of your X-Men allies gets +1 hit point if each of your characters has the X-Men trait. Each of your X-Men allies costs 1 fewer resource to play. This is the card that makes this deck tick. We'll flip over to hero form and just go ahead and deal 1 damage so that we don't have to shuffle any cards into the deck. Then we can go 2 damage and 2 damage. Each of these allies with +1 HP. And then we'll draw 5. And ready up. So we got 1 threat. We got an attack from Mysterio, which will go on Pixie. No illusion card, so nothing happens with the forced response. And then we're playing on Expert difficulty, so just 1 encounter card, which is discard your hand, drop to your hand size. Okay, and that surges under fire. Weakness from within. Place 1 additional threat here for each card in your hand. That's a big card. And Induced Panic. You cannot resolve triggered abilities in your hero's printed text box. Need to deal with weakness from within as soon as possible. So we'll thwart for 2. We can go Ricochet Beam for To Me My X-Men. Look at the top 5. Professor X is a good find. This is one of my favorite cards in the game. It's a lot of fun to play. When he enters play, we'll get a Confuse on Mysterio. We'll thwart for 3 with the Professor. Thwart for 1 with Angel. And we'll also get out Polaris for 2. And add a Toughness. Then we'll draw 5. So we got one face down and counter card coming. I forgot to attack with Polaris as well. And then the Professor to the hand. There we go. So we got one threat, we got one attack from Mysterio. And one encounter card. Evil Doppelganger. And Assault. And the attack will go onto the Toughness in this spot. Okay, can we deal with this Evil Doppelganger? We can put a priority target on it. Spend 1 resource to fire. Well, we can't fire the Optic Blast because of this induced panic. We can go 1, 2 for Gentle. Deal 5 that way. And draw 2 cards. Gonna play Utopia in this spot. Thwart for 2 and flip to Alter Ego. Don't have any identity specific cards to discard at the moment. I'll grab a tactic upgrade with Cyclops' ability. And then I'll use that to get rid of Induced Panic. And I'll drop Uncanny X-Men. And draw 5. Not sure if I played that turn optimally. So remove Confuse. 1 encounter card. Masterful Mirage. When you would deal any amount of damage to Mysterio, discard the top 4 of your deck, discard this card. Okay, so we'll grab a Practiced Defense. We'll flip. Let's go damage. I do have an increased ally limit. I'm going to play Professor X here. Get a Confuse on Mysterio again. Deal 3 damage. And go 1, 2, 3 for Wolverine. Deal 3 damage. First with Cyclops, we need to deal 1. And then we needed to ready him. So we get an extra damage that way. And with the 1 damage, we discard the Mirage and go 1, 2, 3, 4. That should resolve everything adequately. And we'll draw 4. This is going to mean an additional encounter card. 1 threat, 1 attack from Mysterio on the Professor. Haven't had any illusion cards as boost cards in this one. That's pretty lucky. Shadow of the Past. That's a tough one. Genetic manipulation. And old grudge. Attach old grudge to your nemesis. That's interesting. Okay, attached minion gets +1 hit point. That could have been a lot worse if old grudge came at a different time. What do we want to do here? Definitely want to get priority target on Mr. Sinister. Heal 1 from Wolverine. Go through the toughness. And I think I'm going to use Ricochet Beam to fire the Optic Blast and kill Mr. Sinister. Oh wait, he has +1 hit point. So I'll use Polaris to finish him off. Draws 2 cards. We'll go finish off Mysterio Phase 2, move into Phase 3, discard the top 5 of each player's deck. We can use Cyclops to thwart. We'll go 1, 2, 3 for Beast and grab a resource card. And we'll use To Me My X-Men. So we get to ready up and there's Sunfire. And we'll draw 5. Alright, 1 threat, 1 attack. Can go on Gentle. There's an illusion card, so that goes on the top of my deck. And 1 encounter card, which will be Deja Vu. Choose to either take 1 damage or place 1 threat on the main scheme. Shuffle it into my deck, so that means the card that was on top is not anymore. So we'll heal 1 from Wolverine. Deal 2 with Beast. And go energy. Well, let's not deal 2 with Beast yet. Energy for Ruby Quartz Visor. Thwart for 2. No. Play Exploit Weakness on the boss. Deal 2 with Cyclops attack. We'll play Sunfire. Ready up Cyclops. No, not Cyclops. Let's go 4 damage with Wolverine. 3 with Beast. 3 with Sunfire. So that's going to end the scenario in fairly short order. So Cyclops did quite well here against Mysterio, I would say. Though Mysterio is not on the more difficult side. So let's move on and try him against Thanos. Here we go. We're back. Got our Infinity Stone deck. That hand is not very good because we're looking for Uncanny X-Men. Nope, still no Uncanny X-Men. Okay. Well, let's go looking for a tactic upgrade. I don't know why you can't search your discard pile for a tactic upgrade as well. It seems an odd limitation to put on poor Cyclops. We can go Ruby Quartz Visor. Two for Forge. And I can grab Utopia from the discard pile. And I'll play that. And we'll flip thwart for 2, thwart for 1, and draw 5. So the top card of the Infinity Stone deck should be in play. Okay, so 1 threat, 1 attack from Thanos. And discard the top 4, 1 threat for each card type. Ally, resource, event, event. Nope, that doesn't get discarded. There we go. And then we need 1 encounter card. Assault. So it's 4 damage. 7 damage. Ouch. And then another Infinity Stone. Okay, well, Thanos is stalwart, so he can't be confused by the Professor. Do have Uncanny X-Men. First, let's get out to me, my X-Men. Could grab Sunfire and get rid of Thanos' helmet. It's pretty strong. No more helmet. Thwart for 1. And then we can go, well, we get to ready up Cyclops when Sunfire comes into play, and we can thwart for 2. Then I'm going to flip to Alter Ego and go looking for a tactic. And then I can go 1, 2, 3 for Uncanny X-Men and draw 6. Pull Sunfire back. Seems decent. 1 threat. It's gonna scheme for 1, 2, 3. Power Stone, you are stunned. 1 encounter card. Advance, schemes for 3 again. And a new Infinity Stone comes in. So, have I stabilized to the point where I can do stuff now? Let's grab a tactics upgrade. Forced response. Uncanny X-Men for Sunfire, Uncanny X-Men for armor. Oh, that's Field Commander, not an upgrade. Actually don't have any tactics upgrades in here. That's not good. So I can't use the visor to blast away the toughness. We can flip, we can remove the stun, and then play these allies and use Utopia to ready at least. We can go 1, 2 for Bishop. Thwart for 2. deal 2 damage, thwart for 2, and draw 5. So 1 threat, 1 attack from Thanos on the armor. Discard the top card of the Infinity Stone deck. +3, doesn't matter, the toughness eats it. Soulstone, heal 3 and give a boost card. Doesn't need any healing, hasn't taken any damage. And we got 1 encounter card coming, which is I am inevitable. 1 boost card. Okay. I would say this is going okay so far. So there was an attack, so Bishop charges up. After an enemy attacks you. The enemy attacked my ally, though. So I'm not sure he actually gets a charge in this spot. What do we want to do here? Psylocke isn't that good against Thanos because he has Stalwart. We can go 1, 2. I do have +1 ally limit, so I can go 1, 2, 3 for Beast. Grab a resource card. Field Commander isn't very good in solo, so I should thwart first and then Utopia to ready. And I can Tactical Brilliance to get rid of this threat and grab a tactic from my discard pile, which will be Practice Defense. Then I can get that on Thanos and fire at him for 3. No, I don't want it to be Practiced Defense. Gonna go for Exploit Weakness. Use Field Commander, get that on him, and then fire for 4. Every attack will be +1 now. Sunfire for 3. Beast for 3. Cyclops for 2. And then draw 5. So 1 threat, 1 attack from Thanos. On Sunfire. It's +2, +3. Give Thanos tough. Should be just 1 encounter card, not 2, since I'm on Expert. Tribute. Okay. My setup is pretty good here. Karma's not going to have any use here. I don't think there's any non-elite minions. I'm going to go Bishop for 3, or for 2 thwart. Which gives me an encounter card. Use Armor for 1. No, Armor will remove the toughness. Beast for 2. Let's get Colossus in. And... well, first let's deal a damage, then get Colossus in. And Cyclops would be so much fun if he didn't have that restriction of you have to have an upgrade attachment on him. Or if you could put permanent upgrades on him. Cyclops would be a lot more fun. We'll go ahead and deal another damage and then draw 4. It's going to be 3 encounter cards this turn. So let's go attack on the toughness. Pine Stone, you're confused. Titan's Throne. Corvus Glaive. Ebony Maw. That's tough. Alright, how do we want to deal with that? Let's go Uncanny and Rapid Response to use Tactical Brilliance. Remove 3 threat. Grab a tactic. Oh, there aren't any. Maybe I don't want a Tactical Brilliance then. That is not as good. I was hoping I could get a priority target, but not gonna work if there isn't. Let's just retire Beast and get rid of Titan's Throne. Remove Toughness. Deal 2 damage. Go 1, 2 for Gentle. Get rid of Corvus Glaive. He does have Retaliate, so Beast will actually take an additional damage and be retired. And we'll go to me, my X-Men. Thwart. Well, I'm gonna remove the Confuse. To me, my X-Men. Grab Angel. Yeah, we'll grab Angel. And then we'll deal 2 damage. Use Cyclops to thwart for 2. And I think I'm gonna flip to Alter Ego here. And if I'd played that better, I could have flipped to Alter Ego, got priority target, and then defeated an enemy with that on there. Chalk that up to inexperience with Cyclops. So 1 threat, 1 scheme for 4. Ebony Maw for 1. He gets a boost card of 1. And then that's going to deal Thanos another boost card. And we need 1 encounter card. Blood to Spare. Each minion activates against that player. It's going to be a scheme for 1. Plus a boost of 2. 10 threat in 1 turn. Oof. Alright, well, we'll go ahead and flip. Well, first we need to go find an upgrade. Maybe Exploit Weakness. So let's use Field Commander and get Exploit Weakness on Ebony Maw, along with Priority Target. Do I want to do it that way? I don't think I do. Just the priority target, and we'll go defeat Ebony Maw and draw 2. We can flip, we can thwart for 2. We can go Field Commander for Pixie and grab an X-Men ally from the discard pile. Let's play Beast. Grab a resource card. Oh, I spent too much there. It's only 3 for Beast. We can get exploit weakness on Thanos. And let's see if we can do some damage here. So Utopia ready Cyclops. We can go Ricochet Beam, which is going to be 4 and 4 with the exploit weakness. So he's on to phase 3. Do we have a lightning and strength resource to spend? We do not. We can use Ruby Quartz Visor. Well, I still have exploit weakness on him, so that'll negate the Thanos' armor. So this has piercing and ranged. So no retaliate. He doesn't have retaliate anyway, but we go 3 damage. 3 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage, thwart for 2, and then we'll just go ahead and draw 3. So 1 threat, 1 attack, Soul Stone, or Space Stone, which discards until a minion is discarded. There may not be another one. Oh, there is. Proxima Midnight. And we'll get the Infinity Stones shuffled up. She has piercing, and then we need 1 encounter card. The Mad Titan, top card of the Infinity Stone deck, into play. Okay, so we need to get rid of this armor for lightning and strength resource. We don't have a strength resource, so it stays. I'm gonna thwart. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and take out Proxima Midnight. Thwart with Cyclops. It's actually just 2. Retire Cyclops, and we'll go 1, 2 for Tactical Brilliance. Grab a tactic card. Probably just a priority target. I'll put that on Thanos. We'll go 1, 2 for Polaris. Add a toughness. Ready up. Deal 2 damage with the Optic Blast. Thwart for 2. Deal 1 damage. And draw 5. So, 1 attack from Thanos. Put that on Gentle. Soul Stone, heal 3 and give a boost. And 1 encounter card, which will be Master of the Stones. Okay, can I get rid of this armor this turn? Lightning and strength? Ooh, I'd have to spend Wolverine to do it. That's rough. Oh, I can use Sunfire actually. I'll just use Karma to play Sunfire. And get rid of the Thanos' armor. That is very good. We'll go 1, 2, 3 for Wolverine. And just do some damage. Should have been able to do that twice. Okay. So there's the first time through the encounter deck. Thanos' attack can go on Beast. And there's going to be a second Infinity Stone because of Master of the Stones. If damage from this attack defeats an ally, put the top card of the Infinity Stone deck into play. So that's 3 Infinity Stones. It's going to go out swinging. Didn't I already see the Soul Stone? Did I forget to put that in the discard pile? I think so. We have Space Stone. We need a minion. That's going to quick strike for 2. Move the toughness. And Power Stone, which stuns. Did I need another one? Not sure if I resolved everything right. I may have needed another one. Discard an ally, upgrade, or support you control. Utopia can go. That may have been too much. But at this point it doesn't matter, and I just wanted to make sure I had everything resolved. So I can remove my stun. Don't need any of this. I can just go Wolverine healed for 1, and then that will end it. So Cyclops performs well against Thanos on expert difficulty. Was a scenario that Nebula really struggled with. He was able to defeat Rhino on Heroic 1 and Absorbing Man on Heroic 1. We'll take a look now at the Crossbones on Heroic 1 game. And here we go. So these first 3 scenarios that I play against when I'm playtesting, Rhino, Absorbing Man, and Crossbones on Heroic 1 difficulty, are challenging. Not that many heroes in the game can get through those 3, let alone move on to others. And if any hero can get past Green Goblin mutagen formula as well, then I know I'm looking at a pretty serious contender, though I haven't spotlighted any of the really strong heroes in the game yet. I've been focusing so far on sort of lower tier good heroes. They're above average, but in the lower tier of the good heroes, like B+, A- tier heroes. And spotlighting some heroes that really surprised me in what they could do. Cyclops, SPDR come to mind in particular. And I was a little surprised by what Captain Marvel could do as well. But we'll see how it goes for Cyclops against Crossbones. Did get Uncanny X-Men on turn 1. That's good. And we have to discard a card because of the upgrade, experimental weapon upgrade. So let's see what our 2 encounter cards are. Master Plan. It's a rough one. And Concussion Grenade, so you are stunned and 1 damage. Cyclops doesn't have a good way to thwart for a lot. His biggest thwart is 3. And the X-Men allies aren't that great on thwart, with the exception of Professor X, and Beast is pretty good at that as well. So we got to me my X-Men. And we can grab Colossus, maybe Wolverine. Wolverine would be very strong here as well. Bishop, I may need the thwart from Bishop is what I was thinking with Bishop. But I'm going to go with Wolverine. and just get some damage in. Thwart with Forge, damage with Wolverine, and then draw 5. And bring Wolverine back to the hand. So it's going to be 2 damage, which will go on the toughness from the machine gun. And then Forge will tank the attack. 2 encounter cards. We got Legions of Hydra. So that brings Madam Hydra into play. That's probably going to be a loss, because that's a 5 threat side quest with an extra encounter card. And we didn't have a way to deal with the 3 threat side quest either, or the 4 threat side quest, so this is going to mean the main scheme advances, and there's Shadow of the Past. Well, that's definitely a loss. 2 big time enemies. That's going to be too much for Cyclops. We can probably just go ahead and reset right here. Yep, and that's what I do. So I'll try it again. What Cyclops really does well is grind games out, because when he gets set up with Uncanny X-Men and Utopia, he can do a lot of little attacks or thwarts for 2. He doesn't really have big bursts of damage or thwart, except with something like 3 allies on the table and exposed weakness, or the event that does 8 damage but requires some setup with a tactic upgrade on the table. So here I'm rethinking the order in which I do this. So I can use armor to pay for Pixie, and then use Pixie to add an X-Men ally back to hand, and then use exposed weakness to pay for armor, and keep Ruby Quartz Visor in hand. So once again, a pretty good start. Use Pixie to attack as well. One damage from the machine gun. And 2 encounter cards. Weapon Master, that's tough because that's going to be an attack and a surge. At least the machine gun does no damage. And Legions of Hydra again. That's going to bring Madam Hydra into play. And Cyclops really doesn't have the ability to deal with that. For some reason I couldn't see her. I'm wondering if she's the other face down encounter card. Nope, there she is right there in the bottom. And then I actually shouldn't have done that with the master plan. I should have just added 4 threat to Legions of Hydra. I don't know what I was thinking there. I would have much rather just added 4 threat than get a Crossbones assault. That side scheme is ferocious. So we're using To Me My X-Men, and that's going to bring in Wolverine. That's great. Get in Bishop. Clear Crossbones Assault, which means an attack. Again, Crossbones Assault shouldn't be there, which would have made this one easier. But I still wouldn't have been able to clear Legion of Hydra, I don't think. got 3 encounter cards because of Legions of Hydra. And the gang up, that's going to end the scenario, so... Well, not quite ended. But close to ended. Though I don't know if I'm happy with this attempt. First of all, it's not very good luck to get Legions of Hydra multiple times. And there's another copy of Legions of Hydra. I'm not sure if that's an error in the way this deck was built. I don't know if there's supposed to be multiple copies of Legions of Hydra. Let's get in another attempt at Crossbones on Heroic 1 live, though. Had 2 losses. But I think Cyclops may be able to do this if he gets a little luck and doesn't get Shadow of the Past or Legions of Hydra early. I think I just conceded at this point. But let's try it again. One more attempt live. Here we go. Let's see what Cyclops can do in round 3 on Heroic 1. Laser rifle. Don't want to keep ricochet beam or priority target. And keep the others. Okay, we'll go look for a tactics upgrade. Just grab a practiced defense, I think. And then we'll go... Which guys do I want to play here? 1, 2, 3 for Professor. Get a Confuse on Crossbones. Well, I don't really need Professor, because there's nothing to thwart. So, big aspect of his character goes to waste. I think I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 for Colossus. And play Angel. And then we'll flip and we'll go 1, 2, 3 damage. And draw 4. So 1 threat, 1 attack, first the machine gun for 0. And then the attack on Colossus. And then 2 encounter cards. So we got Madam Hydra. And Caught Off Guard, which just surges. Oof, into Crossbones Assault. So that's pretty rough. So I can get an attack for 11 if I had an upgrade, a tactic upgrade, which I do not. So we'll go Uncanny X-Men. I think I'm just going to thwart for 2 on the assault. Crossbones activates, machine gun goes off for 1. And he attacks for 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll go ahead and deal 2 damage to Madam Hydra. And draw 4. So we got 1 threat, 1 attack on Angel. Madam Hydra for 2. 2 encounter cards. Crossbones armor. Okay. What do I want to do here? Let's go to me, my X-Men. Or do I want to just play Wolverine? I have Uncanny X-Men. He only costs 3. Get out Wolverine. Take out Madam Hydra with Cyclops. I think I'm just gonna thwart and flip to alter ego here. And I can't go get an upgrade and then use To Me My X-Men because it's a hero action, but we'll draw 5. And we'll let the boss advance and just hope for the best. If you are in hero form, the villain activates against you. I'm not. So he moves on. Experimental weapon. That's the retaliate one. Hydra Flame Soldier. Thwarts for 1. And then 2 encounter cards. Combat Knife. And another soldier. Alright, Wolverine's going to heal. We'll grab a tactic. No more priority targets in the deck. Now that I have allies. It's too bad. Or now that I have minions to defeat. I will use Exposed Weakness on one of these dudes because that'll up Wolverine's attack and kill it. Can practice defense, flip to hero, and then use an Optic Blast for 4. No. Use practice defense to play exploit weakness and then Optic Blast for 4. And I can go 3 damage. Do I want to? I'll retaliate. I don't think so. Just gonna thwart for 1. To Me My X-Men. Grab Psylocke, or Phoenix, I mean. And go get a tactic upgrade. Or any hero specific card, really. Probably grab Exploit Weakness. What do I need to get rid of this? I need Lightning and Science. Okay, let's grab a Science then. And we'll use Phoenix for 2 damage. And we'll use Cyclops to thwart, and then we'll draw 4. Bring Phoenix back. So 1 threat, 1 attack, which will go on Colossus. 2 encounter cards. Weapon Master, that is going to need to go on Wolverine, unfortunately. And that surges. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that will end that attempt. I think this one is a little bit beyond Cyclops. One of the keys to Crossbones is resource generation. I mean, it's always a key. But in Cyclops' case, his resource generation, his extra resources are in the form of cost reduction off of Uncanny X-Men. But that doesn't help us to deal with these attachments, which generally require you to spend resources to get rid of them. And so then Crossbones just ends up building up. And so we can get by with Uncanny X-Men in some scenarios. In this one, it's not very good, though. And without Uncanny X-Men, Cyclops really isn't anything because he doesn't generate resources. So he really needs Uncanny X-Men. He really needs the full X-Men deck to be any good at all. Nonetheless, he did exceed my expectations by being able to beat Rhino on Heroic 1, Absorbing Man. I really wasn't expecting anything from him, so that's great that he was able to do that. And he was able to take on Thanos on Expert and Mysterio on Expert, so he's capable. I would rank him probably about the same as I would rank Scarlet Witch. Roughly in that area. Maybe a little bit better than Scarlet Witch, but not much. But less than Nova or SPDR or Star-Lord. So, thank you for watching.